Welcome to Handsome Soul Stories, where we meet the beautiful writers behind the books. I'm your host, Vanessa Krchova. In each episode, I sit down with an author to explore the truth behind their words and the soul behind the journey. Let's dive in. Welcome, welcome, Silvia. Thank you so much for joining us today. So
Thank you for having me.
we are talking about books and about stories because I believe, especially in this time, it's so powerful to connect to people's stories and their voice. And I would say, let's get right into it and talk about your book and your story. What is your book about? What is it called? And
My
yes.
book is this one. No, you can see actually it's in Spanish. This one is called El Chico de la Sabana Africana, which in English is The Boy of the African Savannah. And I'm in the process of finishing the English version. And it's a funny story because I'm Spanish. My name is Silvia. And I wrote it in English, despite me being Spanish. The story came about for a long time, has been in the pipeline. It's about my life experience living in Africa, in Zimbabwe, and losing my husband, passing away. And the story came about in English because the experience I had lived it in English, and I explained myself in English more than in Spanish. And it's quite bizarre. But then the circumstances made it that I had to translate it into Spanish because the opportunity came first to have it published through a Spanish publishing company. And now I'm in the process of turning it around to the original process after being through the journey and the waves and everything that's gone up and down through this journey. So it's a life-changing book, in my opinion, not being the one that wrote it. And it's my desire to help people through my own experience on everything that I experienced and went through, to look at life and the experiences and the situations that happen to us from a wider perspective, from a space beyond ourselves, if that is possible.
Oh, beautiful. I can't wait to read the English version. Thank you.
Soon.
So how did writing the book, because it sounds powerful experience in the experience. So how did writing the book change you or evolved you?
It changed my life completely. It talks about my life, my journey until I met my husband, and how meeting him changed me. And then it leads into what happens while we were living in Zimbabwe, where he had a freak situation, and out of nowhere, it wasn't planned, it was not background, also there was nothing that made you think that that end would happen. It was sudden, unexpected. Life, just like you driving a car and you go into a dead end, and that's it, a dead end. Nothing prepares you for that. However, you have been preparing yourself for things like that at the spiritual or energetic level without you not even realizing. And only when you go through it, you are able to transit that however you think you can. And after that, you realize that everything happens for a reason. So for me, when this situation happened, the experience itself happened, from the beginning, I always knew that I wanted to write about that. I didn't know why. I just knew that I had to put that in writing. And going through the motions of writing it had been like 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 6 years after John died. And I thought I had all my wounds healed, and I was like way over it all. Oh my God. When I started to write, I didn't even remember. It's so interesting because there is a part that it's telling what I remember of that period of time. And I felt as if I was stitching together bones that they were there that had not been seen by me. So whilst writing the book, I couldn't sit and write. I would be outside doing something and then something will come through me, and I would sit down and write like 30 pages in one sitting, all like channeling. I'm not even thinking about it. But then I will take like 4 or 5 days to kind of go through the emotions that have come up, which I wasn't aware of. And it's been such a healing process for me of honoring, of releasing, and of giving it a new understanding from a different point perspective of, because I'm not the person I was when that happened, although the wounds had been there underlying, underneath me, ready to be healed and surfaced. And then with so much love, give a perspective which is not dramatic. I mean, the experience, I'm not sugarcoating anything. However, I'm giving my view from then and now of what the message underneath is. And it's a message of hope, actually. It's not of like, it's not the end. We need to open our minds to understand and allow the signs, the messages, and the beauty of the energy of everything and everyone to come through and listen. And then the pain is less painful.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I really hear that so much. And what you're saying, it's like being with all of it, being with everything that comes up heals it more, because we open up for something new when we are able to be with it. And it sounds like the writing is the being with. At least for me, that's how it is often, to just, when I write, I'm with the experience again, like you say, from another perspective. Wow, powerful. How does it feel to have the book completed?
Amazing. It feels wonderful because, first of all, it's like you have reconciled yourself with a part of yourself through the experience, through the process. It's a good therapy, I would say. It's therapeutic in the way that, looking back and reading it back, I had like, wow, I'm still surprised of not what I went through, but my way of dealing with that. So I think that we sometimes underestimate ourselves massively. And for me, doing this process is taught me that I've gone through a lot. And me going through a lot is amazing. But I sometimes don't see that I've gone through a lot. So because you've going through and you are doing the stuff that for you is normal, you don't recognize your gifts, your talents, that the capacity we have to kind of go through anything that we have to or we choose to. And it's like, well done. You've done well going through it. And this is the testament of all this shit that I've gone through, and how now I can look at it and go, thank you so much for the experience. And regardless of how painful it might have seemed, I've received so many gifts and experiences and learnings and know myself better.
Wonderful. I love it. celebrating you and celebrating the completion of it, because I know sometimes the process is, it's hard to hit the complete, and this is now complete. So well done for
Thank you.
completing. If someone out there is thinking about writing a book, it's like, okay, I want to do it, but I'm not sure, kind of on the verge of writing, what would be one thing that you would suggest them?
I will suggest that they go for it. Because of what I just said, we underestimate ourselves. First of all, for yourself, because to me, it's a healing process. You heal yourself by doing that. And you bring to the surface things that you are not aware of, but by doing it and writing it and then going back, it comes up a lot of things that makes you expand and understand yourself better. Secondly, I just say that your words, your story, your experience, for little that you might think that it might be, it can be somebody else's lifeline. That's why you might underestimate your power and your talent, and for you might be something that it's easy, you don't think if it's a gift or that you looking at a situation in a certain way, it's normal, but that might help somebody that is going through a rough time, or that needs a reminder, or that needs to get inspired, or that recognize something that they are not able to see in themselves. So go for it. It's your soul talking to you, through you, and just listen to that part of you that it's beyond your head and beyond your rational mind. Your mind is going to try to put you off. You're not good enough, or what are you doing that? What do you think that better than anybody? No, you are not better than anybody. You are like everybody else. You just have the courage to go through and listen to you. So go for it.
Yes, 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 yes. I love it. And now I got 3 rapid fire questions. 1, 2 words answer. What comes to you first? I mean, it can be a sentence, but 3 questions. If there was one book apart from yours that you would tell everyone, read this, this is really a great book, what would the book be?
Right now, for what I'm saying of going through, I would say Becoming Supernatural of Joe Dispenza, because that gives you the understanding to go over your mind chatter that is going to stop you from doing the things that your soul wants to do. So reprogram yourself. Becoming supernatural, I think, is an ability that we all have. So we just need to remember.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. If you had 1 month to do anything, forget the money, forget the resources, anything you would love to do, what would it be you were doing?
I will take my whole family on a safari to my beautiful Zimbabwe.
Wonderful.
For them to experience it, to experience the connection with yourself and nature and all that is in such a magnificent place.
Yeah. Love it. Thank you. And one word that comes to you, one feeling, when you would sum up today's our conversation.
A word that comes up now?
Yeah.
Love.
Yeah.
And gratitude. They're together, but yeah.
Yeah.
In awe with life. That was 3, sorry.
It's okay. It's a conversation starter. There are no really rules.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. Would you like to share where can people find your book? We will of course link in show notes to your book, but how can people get in touch with you or find you in other ways?
they can find the book in through the publishing company directly, which
Okay.
I'll write down. Also
Yeah.
on Amazon is
Okay.
already there.
Okay.
The English one is gonna be there as well. The English one I'm gonna auto-publish it. I'm gonna do it myself. I'm in the process
Yeah.
of that. And then if they want to follow me on social media, they can find me on Instagram, Silvia Soler 7, which we can,
Okay.
if you want,
We will
put
link
the
to
handle
as
in
well.
there.
Okay.
And grateful for this conversation, Vanessa.
Share your story. Yeah. Thank you so much as well for sharing. I really look forward to reading the English version when it's there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing and experiencing and facing writing the book, because sometimes it is challenging. So yeah, thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Thank you for having me and for sharing this space. There's a lot of people that need to hear that so they can do that leap of faith and believe in themselves to do what their heart desires.
Thank you for joining us on Handsome Soul Stories. If today's conversation moved you, feel free to share it, subscribe, or leave a review. Wishing you all the love in the world. Until next time, keep showing up, keep creating, and keep honoring your story.